Guys, so today I wanted to just, well, first of all, welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been making a lot of videos and I always have stupid excuses, so I'm not going to even make excuses right now, I'm just being lazy. But I wanted to talk about today about, because I just finally got my birth certificate in the mail with my new gender and name on them. And I kind of wanted to talk about kind of the steps to do it, I guess, the way I did it, and like the not mistakes, but kind of just telling what I went through to get them. And I live in Ventura County. This is how it's done in Ventura County. But I don't know I don't know if it's different, if it's the same for all of California, or if every county has their own rules or whatnot. But this is for Ventura County, and I'm assuming it shouldn't be too different in any other states. I mean, some of the stuff, I mean, obviously the ID is part of the California DMV, so I'm assuming it's going to be the same in all of California. Social Security is also a California thing, the Social Security office, and I guess the birth certificate is the same too, but the actual court process might be different as to what they require. So the first thing I did was I went to the court with, so first of all, what I did was I printed out all the paperwork. Like, these are the stacks of papers here from the court, from the Ventura court. What I did first, I just printed out what I kind of Googled like the forms that I needed, and I printed them out. I actually ended up going into the court, and there's like a legal assistance, a legal aid there, and they kind of told me what forms I needed and what forms I didn't need. There was an important form in there though, that had my doctor filled out and he signed, and it's like a legal document, him saying that I'm going through the treatment and I identify as female. Because previously I had been told that my doctor would just have to write a letter, and that's not the case. Just any letter, it has to be on one of their forms. So I got that form, I submitted the paperwork into a court clerk, and they scheduled the court hearing a month after that, my court date. People are asking me about fees. The fee that I think I saw that it was $300, but since I wasn't working at the time, I was able to get a fee waiver and I didn't have to pay anything. So that was the first step, getting the paperwork filled out by me filling out the paperwork, which I procrastinated like a year to do. And then when I did get the paperwork, it took me like another 3 months to actually get around to filling it out. I thought it was going to be such a hard process, and it wasn't. And also at my previous job, I couldn't really take time off to like go to the court and do the things that I thought I needed to do. But like I said, you know, it's all a learning process. And so I filled out all the papers, made sure that the legal assistants like looked it over and everything was, you know, looked good. And I had the paper from my doctor, like I think it's called an affidavit from the doctor, filled out, and I had everything ready. So I turned it in, they double check it there at the clerk's office, and then they give you a court date. My court date was about a month after, which is the day after my birthday, March 30th. And from there, I went into the court, and they granted it, right? Like, he just kind of goes, oh, you know, nobody's contesting it. And he's like, I don't see why anybody would. I don't know why anybody would contest it, but it was granted, and they gave me this paper. I call it a court order, but it's maybe called a declaration, but it's like this, and it has an official stamp in the back. So some places ask you for this one, like that does not have a copy, that it's an actual, that it has the actual stamp from them. Yeah, March 30th, see? So right after I saw the judge and he said it was fine for me to change my name and gender, I went into the clerk's office and filed the motion. And with this paper, the first thing I did was I went to the Social Security office. Now there it was super easy. And it's funny because I didn't even have my ID on me. They just made me verify like my social, my address and stuff like that. It wasn't a big deal. I just took this paper, but I forgot my ID at home. So nothing. And I went in and I was done. They didn't charge me anything. I left. This is what the paper looks like. Obviously the social security card. A week later I got it in the mail. So that was very easy. The second thing I did was get my ID. Now that was a little trickier because I have two DUIs on file and I'm not done with my... There's just like classes you have to take for getting a DUI. And this was like 5 years ago and I'm not done, which I should have finished like... It's 18 months, so it's like a year and a half. And I didn't finish. I have two more like... They're called face-to-face meetings. I have two more left and then I'm done. But like again, I just procrastinate a lot and I shouldn't have. It's really bad at me. But I'm almost done, so I'm not going to discuss that right now. But it was harder because my license had to be canceled in order for me to get it and then redone. They did something there, but it took me a while. But I needed an ID, so I was kind of tired of going around and showing my old ID still. So I just finally like went in, and what they did there is I took in the court order and they told me that they didn't need it, so I didn't give it to them. All they asked was they have a form, which let me see if I have a copy of the form, which I might not because I turned it in. But it was a form basically saying that it was another like affidavit form that my doctor had to fill out. So he filled it out and I took it into the DMV and they just gave me my new ID. They charged me the $25 cost or whatever. I don't remember how much it was. Whatever it costs. No. I think it was like $24. I don't have it because I needed a copy and I sent it in with my, when I applied for my my California pharmacy tech license. I sent them, they needed a copy of it, of something like an affidavit kind of thing, and I sent that. Okay, so after the fact that when they told me they didn't need the court order and they had the doctor, but they required that form to be filled out by the doctors with his license number and phone number and everything. So I turned that into them and I got my ID a week later. Now this is a little trickier. It was the state of California. And then I got my ID, which is right here, which I think you guys have seen before. But I just wanted to make a video like with everything. Everything essential. Like I am gonna get a passport, but not everybody needs or wants a passport. I think these are necessities that you kind of do need. Especially since I was getting my pharmacy tech license and applying for jobs, and they require like some of these things to verify my employment or my legal status or whatever, or the right to work. And I just wanted a birth certificate because I wanted a new one and I wanted to get a passport to travel. So that's those two items. So the birth certificate, I thought maybe you just went, because I've gotten copies of my birth certificate before, like locally. I don't remember where, it was years ago, but I went into where it's the court records, I believe, and I went in there and they told me, oh, you can't get it here because it has to be altered. When I was there, they gave me the forms and I needed to take in there, which were, it was this big ass packet. It was obtaining a new birth certificate after gender reassignment. And they gave you a form, it's the VS-24, and it has to be printed on this special paper. You fill that paper out. You need an affidavit from your doctor, so I sent in a copy of the one that I got from him for the license or ID for the DMV. And then I sent the one that I got for the court because they're both have the information, because it says on here that it has to have, let me see, it's on here and it says, so the affidavit needs to have, you must include an affidavit of a physician attesting that you have undergone clinically appropriate treatment for the purpose of gender transition. The affidavit must include the physician's full name and medical license and or certificate number. So that, both of them both had all the information. I didn't want to take chances, so I sent both. And I sent a copy of the court order and a check for $23. And it took about 2 weeks. They cashed the check, and maybe about a week and a half later, I got the birth certificate in the mail. So the form is really easy to fill out, but it does say it cannot have any mistakes. So the girl gave me 2 forms, and on the top it'll say like line A, 1A, first name, or line B, middle name, line C, last name, and it'll say for you to write in what the original is, which would be Anselmo, and then the new one, which would be Angelica Cristina, which I didn't have a middle name before. So those 2 things have to be on there, no mistakes, legibly written. And I remember that I filled it out all good, and then I wrote the wrong date. I wrote 2015. So I was like, I didn't want to I was just gonna write it in the 6th, and I was like, forget it. I filled out the other form all carefully. It is really confusing and really hard, but just Google things and remember to go to like any websites that when you Google it that have like .ca on them, because that's the ones that I try to do the most. Or like if you go to the if you go to the place, like if you go to the DMV, they'll tell you what you need and they'll give it to you. They'll give you the form that you take to your doctor. If you go to the Social Security office, they just did it for me. I didn't need anything. For the birth certificate, I went into the court record office and they told me they couldn't do it there, so they gave me the forms. And I just had to make copies of things and send it in along with the checks. And the only thing that cost me money was my ID, because it was a $23 fee. I'm sure there's a way to get a fee waiver, but I didn't do it because I was just so stressed out about it. I didn't want to deal with any more paperwork. Birth certificate was $23. I didn't see anywhere to get any kind of fee waiver, so I just sent it in because I had $23. Again, it's like a really crazy process, but it's worth it. Like I have all my stuff now, my birth certificate, my ID, and my Social Security card. The only thing I need is my passport because I do want to travel. I was just going to get a passport card, but I feel like eventually I want to fly, you know, when I start working again and have vacation time, I want to fly somewhere like Europe. I've always wanted to go to Europe. Cancun, who knows? And so I might as well just get the card. I mean, the actual passport. But yeah, I hope this is a little informative for you guys. I know I always have excuses why I don't make videos, but usually I'm just lazy. And living at my parents is a little harder to do it, so I do it outside. But my room is really small and hot, and I hate getting sweaty. But I'm trying. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video and you guys got a little more informed. This is something that you were planning on doing, blah 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 blah. So thank you guys for watching. You can catch me on Snapchat at Selmita5. You can Instagram me at BadGirlAngie, and you can tweet me at BadGirlAngie85. Love you guys.